But yeah, this is Destination Alpha. The skiway is out that way. We got all sorts of herbs, basil, spinach, lettuce, some flowering plants, parsley. We've had up till, I don't know, 15 people in here before. Most of the time it's either 3 or 4. If you notice these signs around, they say level yellow, a certain amount of people are allowed in a room. That's because we're taking certain COVID precautions. Anytime people, new people come into the station that haven't been here for at least 2 weeks and not showing signs or symptoms of COVID, we go into a level yellow where people wear masks, we social distance until everybody on station is basically confirmed, doesn't have COVID by symptoms. And then at that point we go into level green where there's no social distancing, no masks, and we're basically free to do what we want. All right, but here is the vestibule that goes out to the beer can, or more formally, the vertical tower. This is the access down to the under ice areas like the logistics arch and the vehicle maintenance facility. But right now, I'm just going to take it down to the first floor of the station. Now, the beer can is not heated. It's basically the ambient temperature of the outside. So right now, I believe we're at negative 40 degrees. Right here is the elevator that we use, not for people, exclusively for cargo and trash. Never supposed to ride in it. I've never ridden in it. I've heard some people have, but you're not supposed to. And then we pile all our trash here. This big cart goes down here in the elevator to the logistics arch where we sort it and palletize it, compact it, and that's taken out on the South Pole Overland Traverse in the summer, which is the tracked vehicle train that basically brings us fuel and takes out our trash and also brings us some cargo. So going down one floor in the beer can and coming back in to the first floor of the elevator station. Whew, chilly out there. Vestibule door. Okay. First room of interest is the sauna. We do have a sauna here. It's very nice. It's a dry sauna. Let's see here. I don't think anybody's in here right now, so I'm not going to disturb anybody, hopefully. But yeah, it's big enough for maybe, we've had up till, I don't know, 15 people in here before. I think most of the time it's either 3 or 4, or sometimes just one person who wants to come in here to relax, have some time for themselves, because it's not used very much. But it's great for when you've been outside for a long period of time and you just want to kind of come inside, get your core temperature up a little bit. All right, coming out of the sauna, back to the main hallway here. I took you in to see my room in my berthing room at A1222. That was the second floor above me. This is the first floor. It's the same exact pattern. I'm not going to show you that because it's the same exact thing. All right, coming down this way, main hallway. This is one of the stairways that I showed before. This is what's known as Destination Zulu, or DZ. This is where we bring up a lot of our cargo. Let's see if we can get out here. Oh, it's bright. Holy crap. Yeah, so this is Destination Zulu. Just call it DZ. This is where in the summer they use the hoist to bring up cargo that's delivered out that way from the airplane runway. And then there's stairs down if you want to get access to the ground right over there. This is also the place that if you get really, really hot in the sauna and you just come out here and get a little of that cryo treatment and just alternate back and forth, you can kind of feel really good. But it's very cold out here, so I'm going to go back inside. Then if we come in further from DZ, this room here is the recycling room where we bring all the small trash from our rooms in the station and you sort it into recyclables, landfill, batteries, light bulbs, food waste. Everything gets sorted according to a certain category, and that just helps with the people on the other end that get our trash after we compact it and track it out of here to sort it, so they don't have to sort it all themselves. Obviously batteries are a hazard. One of the main worries we have here on station is the fire, so those have a special disposal bin. And then coming out of the recycling room, going right next door, is First of all, the Postal Station right here, where we can mail packages out. Well, during the summer, there's no mail packages going in or out during the winter because there's no planes, there's no cargo. But all your stamps for stamping your, postmarking your envelopes are here. Priority mailboxes, scale, all that crap. This is your personal mailbox. If you're here during the summer and you do get mail, it's sorted by name, by alphabetical. And then our Pole Mart is our store here. During the winter, it's open 3 times a week for an hour each time, usually 6 to 7 in the evening. I'll try to get a little tour of that next time it's open, but right now it's closed because it's in the morning on a Tuesday. Then leaving the Postal Station / store area, we come down. Next door to that is the greenhouse. So let's pop in here real quick. This is where we get our, oh hey Brandon, do you mind if you're on film for my YouTube?
All's good, all good.
Okay, I'm just kind of putzing around doing a tour of the station. But yeah, in here is where we have a small greenhouse, hydroponics, all UV grow lights, which actually got replaced this year. They were sodium vapor lamps, now they're all like high intensity LEDs. Oh, sweet. And Brandon was nice enough to turn the lights on. All right, let's head in here. Thanks, Brandon. We've got all sorts of herbs, basil, spinach, lettuce, some flowering plants, parsley, bok choy. There's some strawberries back there, a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers. But yeah, but since during the winter we can't get any cargo in, we don't get anything fresh, nothing green except what grows in here. We had a really great crop this year. Most days we could have like a fist-sized salad if you wanted to. And that was usually a mix of spinach, lettuce, and usually some other greens mixed in there too. But we're really spoiled in that we get to have that over the winter. Most the other 2 stations on Antarctica, Palmer and McMurdo, don't really get to have that, so we're actually pretty lucky. It's pretty great. It's all volunteer run. There's no assigned greenhouse technician or anything. It's just kind of, if you want to do that, you get to, you know, kind of flex your green thumb there a little bit. So anyway, very, very cool. The ventilation system is monitored for CO2 because obviously plants need CO2 to grow. And so if the CO2 levels drop too low, there's actually CO2 tanks next door that inject carbon dioxide into this greenhouse so that the plants can grow. All right. This is the outside the glassed-in area. This is kind of like the nursery where they have all the starts, and then when they get big enough, they kind of move them over here. Not sure what this is getting so big, but I'm also not one of the greenhouse volunteers, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. All right, so coming out of the greenhouse, as I was saying, here is the guts of what makes the greenhouse work. These are CO2 tanks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the CO2 tanks that inject CO2 into the greenhouse when it's needed. Hydroponic water filtration system and nutrient system is over there as well. All right, so coming out of the greenhouse, right next door is our laundry room. Everything's free. There's no coin operation here. You just come in here, use what you need. There's detergent and softener sheets provided for you. But yeah, very, very simple to use, very easy. All the sheets, pillows, and everything is in here. You can come get whatever you want. All the store of blankets are up there as well. All right, coming out of the laundry room. And here's the A4 berthing. Looks just the same as the A1 berthing, but this is the first floor, so I'm not going to show you that. Here we go. The next door down from the laundry room is the quiet reading room or the library. Here, it's usually a very quiet space, but lots of books available for reading. Everything fiction, nonfiction, you know, everything from romance novels to actual historical accounts of the South Pole expeditions. Any books of like historical or kind of antique significance are under this glass case. You've got to get the key from somebody to check it out, but a lot of cool things in here from written by Amundsen, written by Scott or Shackleton. Admiral Byrd has some books in there that I've read as well. But yeah, just a cool, cozy room to come hang out in. Some people just like the space and will come down here to hang out with their friends or play some card games or whatever. very quiet in here, maybe even the quietest place on station now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, pretty neat spot. Also, I just started wearing this mask because just a few minutes ago we went into level yellow, which is protocol to do whenever there is a plane on the way with new passengers, and they're about halfway here from McMurdo. So we just go into level yellow a little bit early. But coming out of the quiet reading room, you'll notice all this stuff along the hallway here. This is like leftover hand-me-down stuff, kind of our Goodwill or secondhand thrift shop equivalents here. People that are leaving, or just anybody who wants to donate here can leave it here, and then anybody on station just come here, go through it, and just pick out what they want. And we call it skua, and skua is a bird that is a heavy scavenger itself, so it just seemed natural to call it that. So each one of the US stations has a skua section. Let's see, coming down here, right now we're in that bridge section where it just connects the two pods, the A and B pod. It's really windy outside, so you can see all the snow blowing around. It's creating a big hill right there because the way the wind comes under the station kind of funnels under the bridge section. So the next main room is the craft room. So anybody who likes to scrapbook or craft or do models or wood burning or sewing or anything like that, this is the room you come to. Got a lot of equipment, a lot of materials in here. A lot of craft paper, fabrics, got all the sewing machines, paints, what else we got? Mask making, tie-dye, Velcro, all the models that prior people have made here, prior staff members have made are right here. A lot of books of patterns and everything if you want to look at that. It's got some canvas, some different art mediums down here. But yeah, basically if you want to craft something, you can probably make it in here. We also have a 3D printer. It's not in this room, but it's in the IT office in case anybody wants to 3D print something as well. All right, so coming out of the craft, and that's a very brief description. I'm not a super crafty person, so I'm not the best person to give that tour, but there it is. All right, coming down the hallway from the craft room, we have the second stairway that links the 2 floors of the elevated station. 2 of 3 that are inside, at least. This is the cargo deck, or as we call it sometimes, the smoking deck, because we don't actually receive any cargo in the winter, but it is one of the 2 places on the station where you're allowed to smoke. This one, and then the floor upstairs, the same deck. Out on the edge, you can smoke there as long as you put your butts in the ashtray. This door, I can't really take you in, but is the satellite communications office, also the data server backups. A lot of the server racks are in there that run all the communications and computer systems on station, and also the radio communication that coordinates all our radios together. And it's the system where we can just dial somebody's number and call them directly instead of having to blast everybody who has a radio all at once. So everybody has a radio number. Mine right now is 244, and that connects to me, as well as the medical on-call number also connects to me. So just across from the SATCOM office here is the start of our kind of museum part of the station, where we have a lot of memorabilia as far as historical letters that were sent here. For instance, one of the buildings out in the dark sector is the Martin A. Pomerantz Observatory. There's some letters from Dr. Pomerantz here. I think that's a letter from when Prince Harry was down here. On this row we have some of the stamps that have been used as postmarks in the past from here at the South Pole. Just some historical memorabilia from some of the prior stations. I believe this is part of the RF system from the first naval station that was here. This disc is part of the dome structure that was used to keep the dome together, and as part of the support structure. You can see down here, there's a little picture of what it looked like in place. So the dome doesn't exist anymore. It was disassembled because eventually it was going to get buried in snow, and then it would have been a hazard to drive over with vehicles because you have this giant empty space of air and all the tons of snow on top of it. Eventually it's going to collapse. That's a hazard. So it was disassembled about 15 years ago. 9 years ago. Is all the old pole markers starting from 1984 all the way up to last year, 2020. Every year we have a design contest to see what the next pole marker is going to look like. I made a few entries, none of them won. But then after the design is decided on and voted on by the whole station, The winner is made by the machinist. This year our machinist is Dave Pernick, who I do an interview with on this channel, so check that out if you want to know more about our machinist. But yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. The pole marker is designed and made now, but then is unveiled on January 1st, where they update the position of the geographic South Pole. All right, and then in this room, most importantly, it also houses our popcorn machine, which is super important for movie nights. And then, speaking of movie nights, come in here. There's nobody in here right now. This is our main movie lounge, or the B3 lounge, because that's what pod it's in, is B3. But yeah, got a lot of seating in here, got a pretty decent sound system, and then all our TV show library is over here. Got a pretty good collection of TV shows. All the movies are upstairs in the room I showed you before. And if you see this giant yarn string map, this is what somebody did earlier in the year when we were watching Dark. They made a kind of a string map of all the different connections between different people, different timelines, all that stuff. So it got pretty hectic, especially in the third season. It's very simple until then, and then it just became a mess. We think it's kind of a work of art, so we've left it up for a couple months. All right. And then this is the door that leads out to Destination Alpha, or DA, which I said before is the main entrance and exit to the station. If you fly in, you land here, and you're coming to work, you're going to come in through this door. And then just above the DA is the observation deck where we started. So let's go this way. This is the third staircase that takes you between the floors inside the elevated station. And I'm going towards the gym over there right now, but I want to take you in a very cool room, which I think is very impressive, even though I'm hardly ever in here, and that is the music room. We do have quite an array of guitars, lots of really great amps that have also been brought down here, keyboards, decent drum set. But yeah, it's oh, and then I believe in here we also have some stringed instruments. There's all music and music stands in here actually. Hold on. I thought we had a bass or a cello in here somewhere. Maybe not. Oh, I guess we just got the bare bones of one right here. But I thought for sure there was a violin or something in here. But anyways, if you want a violin, you probably should bring one yourself, because who knows, even if it exists here, who knows what condition it's in. But yeah, pretty impressive array of different stuff. You want to come down here and jam out, you got a selection of stuff to work with. So a good amount of ukuleles on station. Over the summer, I heard last year there was a ukulele band with 5 or 6 ukuleles that performed occasionally. Also got some banjos if you're a banjo player. So yeah, the music room. All right. Going to one of the rooms I'm in quite frequently is the sports gym. So it's not a full-size basketball court, fortunately, and we've got one of the hoops pulled up right now, but it's big enough for volleyball, it's big enough for badminton, it's big enough for most sports that don't require a massive field. Mostly we've been playing volleyball this season, so it's worked really well for that, actually. And then we have our equipment closet over there that just has basically any sport you could play in here. We have the equipment for. So that pretty much completes the tour of the whole station. Just to cap it off, I'm going to take you out to DA, to Destination Alpha, and just so we can end up right below where I started. Kind of a windy day today. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with the flight. We're supposed to get in a few minutes. But yeah, this is Destination Alpha. The skiway is out that way. Once you arrive and you're coming into the station, just walk up this way. And you come up these stairs, and yeah, you're here on station. So that is the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. If you want to know about different parts of it or different people's jobs, check out my interviews with those people. I'm gonna go back inside because it's about -40 right now, and the wind is about 12 knots. Pretty chilly.